Over the last year, we've sent our very own Fraser Cartmel all over the world to interview triathletes. Sometimes he gets it right, sometimes he gets it wrong, but nonetheless, he's managed to bag a few. So here are some of his best bits.
Oh my God.
Wish somebody told me that. Here we go. What's your fastest 100 freestyle time?
When I used to be a swimmer, I swam 56 seconds for 100 freestyle. Now I don't know if I could break the minute barrier, but yeah, I have a 56-second PB.
If you weren't racing triathlon now, Cameron, what might you be doing?
Oh, I'd love to be a Formula One driver. Yeah, definitely.
What's your fastest 100-meter front crawl swim time? Can you remember?
Not really, but I have a little bit of a background as a swimmer, and I think my PB was around 54, 55.
Geez, that's really fast.
No, it's not.
Oh, it is. Best advice you were ever given, what might it be?
Definitely Peter Reed. We are at the bike wash after my first Ironman and his first victory on Lanzarote. He said, be patient with the cycling.
Best hacks. Oh, something totally ridiculous? Okay, so something ridiculous. I have always felt like, for whatever reason, if I go into a race with clean hair, my swim cap's going to fall off. So for a few days leading into a race, I won't wash my hair. I have no idea whether there's any sort of basis to it, but I'd be interested to try it out. I mean, we're talking rough water, lots of people around, like it might come off.
What is fastest you've hit on the bike?
I've never hit 100 kilometers an hour. I think it was 98 point something. I was close, but I was pretty young, and I'm a little bit heavier now, a little bit older, so maybe I'll find a fast descent and try and crack that 100k barrier.
There was one bit of advice that you can remember being given that was standout. What would that be?
Don't overcomplicate your transition. Obviously, these events are really big, and it does look complicated. But actually, the simpler you make it, the smoother it will be.
What's the best bit of advice somebody's ever given you?
Eat and drink early. Eat and drink early. You know, when you start suffering later in the race, that's not the time to start shoveling it in. Like, prepare early for the tough times ahead. You know, it's great when it's going great, but you need to be prepared for those hard moments.
Best advice I've ever been in: patience. Be patient. I hate that word. It's really annoying, but yeah, I think especially like in the sport, just being patient with training and racing and results and that sort of thing. Yeah.
The best advice you've ever been given?
I'd say probably don't spend too much time thinking about what others are doing and what they don't like.
Fastest speed you think you've hit?
Well, I know for sure I've hit 50 miles an hour.
Okay.
But you know, I don't know if it gets much faster than that. You got to find some pretty steep hills for it. So.
Yeah, and 50 miles an hour is pretty quick. Right. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
I think, especially when it comes to Ironman racing, and especially here when it's hot, it's very much to go at your own pace, especially early on. A lot of people get very excited. It's a very big stage here, and they ruin the race in the first 2 hours of racing.
Wish somebody told me that. In the pool, what's your fastest 100 freestyle that you can remember?
58.7 or something in a relay. Short pool, obviously, and that was the best that I could ever do.
That's a good time. What is the best bit of advice that somebody's given you? Can you think of any?
I think the best advice they gave me, which was quite natural for me as well, is like to be very flexible and creative on race day. So it means if something goes wrong, try to stay creative and look for a solution, and stay positive.
A little bit of a different one. Would you ever shave your forearms for an aerodynamic advantage?
Probably not. No.
Aerodynamics is always on the front of people's minds now. So what's your thoughts on shaving your forearms?
Yeah, I don't do it.
Here we go. Athletes are spending so much time in aerodynamics now. Do you shave your forearms at all, or spend any sort of time worrying about that?
I did 2 times, I think, and it was only for Kona, so I saved it for special races.
Okay. Here's a funky one. What's your thoughts on arm shaving?
Well, as I stand here with some nicely cleaned arms, yeah, I never do it sort of the off season, but yeah, I don't know if you go any faster with clean arms, but yeah, why not? It's not going to make you slower.
What's the worst accident or crash you've ever had?
I'm not going to describe the details of how it happened because it doesn't reflect well on my general intelligence, but I fell off my bike in the Philippines 3 days before my first pro race and broke my collarbone.
I was going to say, I can see the scar on there.
It's still there.
Right then, what would be the best advice you think you've ever been given?
I would say probably the best advice, especially when you're racing an Ironman, treat it like a long training day. You're with like thousands of other competitors, and you have 8 stations. So just treat it as a long training day. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, and enjoy the day.
If you weren't a pro triathlete, what would you be doing career-wise? Do you know?
Actually, when I was 15 years old, I did a little bit of soccer, and was quite tough decision to switch to triathlon instead of becoming maybe a professional soccer. But I enjoyed triathlon way more than soccer.
Well, there we go. Fraser's Scottish charm always gets the pros on side. If you have enjoyed hearing from the pros today, give this video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more from GTN, you can click on the globe and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to see some of our other videos, just click on screen right now.